Right, let's start.
Yes.
So this is very much orientated towards you. So you
Good.
can interrupt me
Thank you.
just saying what.
Yeah.
Just lift and roll the shoulders. I'm just going to start first of all straight. This should be straight on the upper back. Just bend the elbows. Just lift to where it's comfortable. Step your feet comfortably apart, and just sway from side to side. And I need to ask you how that's working for you.
No, it's nice actually. It's putting my arm and shoulder a bit, but that's quite good. I've decided to
Lower your
push it a
elbows.
bit more with the. No, it's good actually. I've just decided I've got to just go through the pain thing with my
Well, not necessarily,
shoulder.
but
Well, I'm
just,
not getting anywhere with anything, so.
and then just come
I
to.
saw this senior, just called a consultant physio at the hospital the other day. She said, it might take a year to get better.
Just lift and roll your shoulders. So, and then just roll them forward and then roll them back. And then rather than hug, well you can hug, just take one hand and just open up your shoulders, release, and then other, just, and then just release. So what you're describing is slightly lower down. from
Yeah,
what I
it's
can
honestly, don't worry, it's only a little twang thing really. It's just across, that way the bra goes just across there.
So, two things for that. Just almost hug a ball inwards, so that you're not putting your elbows up and it hurts, and just come out that way, but you might be hurting your shoulder.
No, that's fine, it's good.
And just slightly sway from side to side. And then just drop the arms, slide the hands down, really bend the knees, and almost do the same, resting your elbows on the upper legs. You can drop your hands down if you want to, just be comfortable. And if you rest your elbows on your upper thighs, you can pull your back forward and just release down, and that might help to open out. Again, I just need feedback from you.
No, that's good, that's nice, yeah. Just stretching. Thank you.
But I'm very aware not to keep you in a forward fold for too
Sorry,
long.
no, I'm fine actually, that's good.
Okay. And then just soften the knees, press the feet down, roll up vertebra by vertebra. So we've just lifted and rolled the shoulders, a couple of times, hands on the hips, and just hula hoop the hips. As little or as much as you want to, and then just hula hoop them the other way. And then hands slide down the legs, maybe bring the feet slightly closer together so the knees are like one unit. Just circle both knees in one direction. And then circle both knees in the opposite direction. And then slide your hands up to come upright again. And then we come to the ankles. Just lift one heel and just circle. It will be the ankle and the knee and the whole leg, but just circle the ankle one way. And then circle the other way. And then just place that heel down, just stretch the toes, place the toes down, and then same on the other side. I'm really, really convinced that you don't need to move a huge amount, but you need to move regularly and just stir all the stagnant energy in the body, and then the other way, keep it going.
Of course, yeah.
And if you don't do that, you lose
I know how I
mass.
felt after a couple of weeks after I first had COVID, and I haven't really done anything. It's quite scary. Really.
But the thing is, once that's going to just come to, just sway from side to side. Once you start losing it, it's very hard to get it back again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it's
And
constant, really.
It's little and often.
Yeah.
But it is kind of yeah, scary. I can't see how. Yeah, I'm just thinking that feels another. Anyway, let's see.
And there's nothing much you can do to be with her, really, isn't it?
No, that's right. And I'm back to Phil's car because, as I said, I ought to be stuck, half broken down in the middle of nowhere. Thank you. Just come to the stillness. Lift and roll shoulders again. And really just bending at the elbow. A lateral stretch a couple of times on side. Snake the arm down. Snake the other one up. And just, when you turn, feel that you're between two plates of glass, that you're not coming forward. And then just come down. Lift and roll the shoulders. Are you able to open up? Does that?
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
So just open the shoulders and just turn slightly to the left and then slightly to the right. We come to the centre and release. And then just circle the wrists one way. And then circle the wrists the other way. And just flick the energy out of the fingers. And then just loosely clasp your hands one way. And then the other way. And then just shake your hands. And then just bring the hands to here and open here. So does that feel stiff? Yeah, because that does with me actually.
Just, yes, I can feel it, but it's good.
So just turn slightly to one way. I'm turning to my left, it doesn't matter. Come to the centre and slightly turn in to the opposite direction, and then come to stillness, and then just lower your hands, lift and roll your shoulders. And then just slide the hands as you soften the knees down the legs to the shins. Breathing in, half lift. Really stretch from your tailbone to the top of the head, and then just bend one elbow and then the other. Just slightly sway from side to side to stretch out that back. And then you can possibly bring both elbows slightly forward and stretch the whole back. And then just soften the knees, press the feet into the ground and roll up. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then just turn the head to one way, in one direction, and then coming to the centre and turn the head in the opposite direction. Come back to the centre. And then chin to chest, ear to shoulder, doesn't matter which side, and then just stretch out. And then just come to the centre, the other ear to the other shoulder, chin to chest, hand over. You can just drop your hand either out or come back there. So just try stretching your hand out and see if that is quite nice, opening out. If you prefer that to this. And then just coming upright and rest. And just I'm going to do a balance, but walking balance. So it doesn't matter which foot leads, one foot goes in front of the other. I can only do it if I turn my foot out. You're supposed to turn it right ahead. And you can have your arms out. As we get older, this is apparently really important. And I'm not very good at it.
I think you tell yourself you're not going to speak beforehand.
Yeah. It's quite interesting.
See, I found that all right, but that's so many other things I can't do. So.
And then just release. Well done. And then just sway from side to side. So half salutes to the sun. Stand with your feet comfortably apart. Hands together. Soften the knees. Bring the hands to where it's appropriate for you. So if you're stiff in the shoulders to here, so right up. Palms together. Look up, only if that works for your neck. Otherwise, look ahead. Come down through the centre. Slide your hands down to the shins. Breathing in, half lift. Breathing out. Come forward. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Soften your knees, press the feet down, roll up to standing. Hands up to where it's comfortable, and just lower. Hands lift and roll one shoulder, lift and roll the other shoulder. Again, palms together. Soften, stretch up, palms together, come through the heart centre. Slide the hands down to the knees. Half lift, breathing in, soften. Breathe in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften the knees and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raise the hands, stretch them up. Lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands together, and we're going to come down to kneeling, hands and knees. And then this again for the upper back, into puppy pose, so bottom up, stretch the arms forward. You can bend at the elbows or have the elbows on the ground or stretch your arms out. And then at quarter dog, so have your left arm extended still, bring your right arm across you, and just perhaps rest your forehead on the back of your right wrist. Adjust your bottom to how it feels nice. You might want to make your knees wider. So with quarter dog, if you want to emphasise the upper back, you can just subtly move your left hand slightly to the centre. So you're just stretching out the upper back a little bit more. You're not going to go very far in this position. And then just very gently walk the left hand back and swap over. So bend the left elbow so that the left hand goes across you, resting the forehead on the back of the left wrist, stretch out the right hand. You can bring your bottom back, just feel that stretch more, and then again you've got the option to just walk your right hand into the centre, so towards the left a little bit, to give you a greater stretch. And then walk the hand back, slide the right hand back and come to all fours when you're ready. And just start to sway the bottom from side to side. Your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And as you start to sway one way, you look over the opposite shoulders. So if your hips sway to the left, you look over your right shoulder. And if the hips sway to the right, you look over your left shoulder. And you can look over a tiny bit, a nod in the direction of, or move a little bit more. And then come to the centre. So classic cat-cows, dipping the back, looking up, rounding the back, chin comes to the chest. So we're moving through the spine as we repeat this. Dipping the back and rounding chin to chest. Dipping the back again. Rounding chin to chest. And one more time. Dipping the back and rounding the chest. Come to neutral. Slide the right foot back, tuck the right toes under, and just stretch out the underneath of your right foot. And you optionally can just slightly sway forwards and backwards. You're just rolling onto the foot. And then just release the right knee to the ground. And slide the left foot back, tucking the toes under. And then just release the knees to the ground. And this is a flow. If you want to miss out downward dog, obviously do. So just, we're going to, you know what to do. Just so dipping your back, looking up, breathing out, rounding back, chin to chest. Tuck toes, coming to a soft downward dog. Bend the knees, come back down to your knees. And into child's pose. Breathing in, coming back to all fours, looking up. And this time round the back, bring the bottom to the heels, elbows come down to the floor. Breathing in, dip the back, scoot forward, coming back to all fours. Breathing out round the back. Bottom comes towards the heels. Elbows come onto the ground. Leading with the chest, scooping through, dipping the back, coming back to all fours. And as you breathe out round the back, bottom comes to the heels. You'll notice that your back is being stretched very gently, elbows to the ground, and then scooping through, but you're being supported by your knees, your legs, and your hands. So it should feel quite nice.
Yes, it's nice. Very nice.
But you've got the solidity of the support. Your elbows might not fully touch the ground, that's fine, it's just a nod to the form of the pose. Then just when your bottom is down, slide your hands towards your knees and come to sit with your legs out in front of you. There's that fine balance between stretching your back enough and not overdoing it, and that is really tricky.
Yeah, that felt really nice.
The key to not doing, that bounce. Then just bounce your legs and toes away, toes up, just a couple of times. And then circling the ankles in one direction. And then circling the ankles in the opposite direction. And And just sway your feet from side to side, your legs as well. And then rub your legs, maybe pat. And then coming very, very gently to sitting upright. And just simply touch your hands to either side of you, tummy in, feet are up. And then just bring your left hand to the outside of the right leg, maybe the right thigh, and just turn slightly to the right, looking towards the right. And staying here with the body, bring the head and turn to look towards the left now. Bring the head back to the centre, and then bring the body back to the centre. And just slide the hands to slightly below the shins, coming very subtly forward. And then just very, very gently slide the hands back up. Just connect them to either side of the mat. And bring the right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left hand behind. And turn to look over the left shoulder, or towards the left shoulder. Stay with your body where you are, and then just turn very gently to look over the right. Bring the head back to the centre, bring the body back to the centre, and then just slide the hands down the shins, just coming very subtly forward. And sliding the hands up, just bend the left leg and just open it to the side. And just start with your hand to open and close, bend the toes backwards, bend the toes forward. And then just circle the ankle one way. And circle the ankle the other way. And then optionally, either do that again or thread your fingers through your toes, if that's not agony.
It's horrible.
And just up and down, and then begin to circle one way and then the other. And then just using your knuckles, you're better at this than me, just massage underneath the sole of the foot. And then just sit up, hug the left knee into the chest, and just stretch it out along the ground. Just move. And then coming to the right leg, hugging it into the chest. The other leg. Opening to the side. And the same thing, put your hand over. It's meant to block the energy, actually, funnily enough. But anyway, just over, up and down, and it is optional.
I can see that it is, because normally with the reflexology you're going up and down those points and across, whereas if you've got your hand across, you are closing off the channels, yeah.
I was told off years ago for doing that, and they said, no, you're blocking, it was all coming forward, you're blocking the energy channels. I've always remembered that. So
I suppose if you just counterbalance it with doing something up and down, it doesn't matter. It's all movement. It's all movement, so it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it's just, and then just fingers through. I think I was doing a forward bend, coming forward, I had my hands over, and they said, you're blocking your energy channels. Right. And then just circle your ankle one way and then the other way. And then just hug the right knee into the chest and just release. and bounce, just, and you can rub your arms, shoulder, back of the body. If you've got a really stiff lower back. And then just bend the knees, and we're going to come to lie on the mat. Now that we've warmed up a little bit. So come to have knees bent, feet a hip width apart. Just find that you're comfortable. And then just gently sway the knees from side to side. Palms might be down on the floor alongside you. And you might also like to have your feet slightly wider to the apart to the edge of the mat. That will give you a greater massage, but it will also be softer. And you might find that your head is naturally moving on the mat as you're moving your legs. And then just come to stillness. And then hug one knee and then the other knee in. So now this is looking at the lower back. It should feel very nice as you hug the knees in. And then just rock from side to side. And again, you can go almost right over to the side, almost backs of your arms are holding you.
It's nice to go onto your elbows, yeah.
Yeah, just. And of course, the more you roll down to the floor, the more you're going to massage across the lower back. And the heavy-duty back muscles take quite some time to start to relax. So they're not going to instantly relax. They need to feel safe to begin to let go, especially if they've gone into some sort of spasm. And then we're just going to look at the hips. So just knees together, let both knees travel away from you while you're holding them to arm's length. Open them and then circle them back. Breathing in as your arms go and legs go away, open and circle back. So this is a very nice hip mobility and flexibility movement. It's particularly nice because you're not putting any weight on the hips. So this, you can do this anywhere. And then think about changing the direction. So the knees meet, hugging the knees into the chest. Open them and then circle them outwards and upwards to meet. The knees back down through the centre, open. So we're just changing direction a little bit. Just hug knees into the chest and rock slightly from side to side once more. And then come to the centre and perhaps supporting your right leg under the thigh, let your right foot come to the ground. And then hug your left knee into the chest. And then drop your hands underneath your left thigh. And gradually extend your left leg upwards. You can keep a bend in your knee. Extend your left foot, and you'll feel that stretch all the way along the back of the left leg. You can stay here. You can walk the hands up
the back of the leg, and that will bring the leg slightly closer to your face. Stretch out, but just be comfortable. And just perhaps circle the left ankle one way and then the other way. And then hug the left knee into the chest. Open out to the left and place the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Hands are either palms down or resting on your abdomen. And just sway the knees, both knees, from side to side. So this is a very soft figure of four, or an upside down pigeon. It again is very helpful for the hips and the lower lymphatic system. And then hugging the left knee into the chest and placing the left foot on the floor. So you transfer your attention to the right side and then hugging the right knee into the chest. Drop the hands to clasp perhaps underneath your right thigh and then very gently raise your right leg to the ceiling. Maybe extend the heel and point the toes, maybe circle the ankles, the right ankle a couple of times in one direction and then the other. This just boosts up the circulation, which gets blood flowing, which is helpful for detoxification and optimal organ functioning. And then just walk your hands slightly up the back of the right leg. You don't have to go very far. If you extend the heel, you'll really feel extension along the leg. Very good for sciatica. And then very gently bend the right knee into the chest. Open the right knee to the right, resting the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Palms down or on your abdomen, one on each, and then just sway from side to side. And again, you can sway almost right the way down to the right, and that will really massage the top of your right buttock. Coming up. And do linger if one bit feels particularly that needs ironing out. Or you can stay on the right side and just pulse over that bottom gluteus muscle, the very bottom muscle. And when you've had enough, just hug the right knee into the chest. And this time let the left knee join it, so both knees are hugged into the chest. And we come to a very familiar hugging the knees into the chest. As you breathe out, still hold the knees, let them travel away to arm's length. And just begin to repeat that a few times to your own breath length. It's wonderful for the lower back. It's massaging, it's being supported. It operates on the foundational energy, it's called Apana energy, one of the 5 energies of the body, certainly in Ayurveda. So it operates on unravelling, setting the foundation, and if the foundation is right, everything else tends to be right. Works on toning, the abdominal area, constipation, and often elimination. Just getting the abdominal areas moving if it's a bit sluggish. And after a while, you'll start possibly to feel that the back is tingling as the blood is just beginning to move all the way along the spine, actually just up until the top of the head. It's just I'm getting a tingling all the way along. So things beginning to move. And then just very gently enjoy hugging the knees into the chest one more time. And then just let the feet supported under the thighs come to the ground again. Palms down.
Just a couple of little pelvic tilts, flattening the back as if you were going to lift your bottom and then moving in the opposite direction. So as the tailbone goes towards the ground, there's a little gap underneath the lower back, and then flattening again. It's just giving, again, the ability, beginning to strengthen the spine, but without actually lifting the bottom off the ground. Very much a medial lower back exercise. And then just very gently come to roll onto your side. So I'm going to, I'm rolling onto my left side. I'm going to stay on my left side, coming up onto my left elbow, and just gently extending the left leg. And this is the immune system. You've got the white blood cell manufacture a proliferation in the upper thigh. So if you can slide your hand down the right leg, holding the ankle, maybe holding the foot, holding anywhere, and just bend the right leg back. This is a kind of modified dancer's pose, but on the ground. And you'll feel that strain in front of your right thigh. Just again, just boosting into that system, and then just very, very gently bring your leg back. And come on now to your other side, your right side. You can come up on your elbow, which I like to do, but you can also just lie along on the floor, stretching out the right leg, taking the left leg, and just stretching back. Stretching the top of your glute. It becomes a nice back stretch as well, and then just release. And then just come to a comfortable seated position. Legs out if you want, cross legs if you want. And we're going to come to some breathwork exercises, but it's a natural cat-cow, but it controls your breath at the same time. So breathing in, you can have your hands on your, you can have your legs out if you want to, coming up. But just breathing in, sitting up, breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Your breath pattern, sitting up, breathing out, chin to chest. Just your time up. You can breathe out through your mouth as well. That helps. Boosting your nitric oxide uptake. And then coming into sitting, and we're going to do the same movement with the hands from the heart. So breathing in, just open out slightly, breathing out chin to chest. Breathing in, opening out. Breathing out chin to chest. Breathing in, opening out. Chin to chest. And then just drop your hands to your knees. And just bring your thumbs to the second index finger. Thumbs go to the third finger, fourth and middle finger. Second finger, third, fourth and middle. And you can carry on doing that. There's also a chant with this, which reflects a circle of life. So sa, ta, na, ma. So it's birth, life, death, and rebirth. Sa, ta, na, ma. So brain coordination as well. then just bring your chin to your chest. Have a moment of a thought for yourself, for the day ahead, or for someone else, setting the intention. And then just bring your hands to your forehead for today, kind thoughts. Your hands to your lips, kind